So let's talk about some reasons why reading is so important. We have a very special guest and renowned personality between us, Dr. Rashmi Jain, Assistant Professor, English Department, Ishwar Sharan Degree College, Prayagraj. I would like to request you all to please give a huge round of applause for her. Now, I would like to quickly introduce Dr. Rashmi Jain before you all. She is an academician and bilingual poet, as well as an author residing in Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. Her poems, research papers, and reviews are published in reputed journals, magazines, and anthologies like Episteme Setu, Pittsburgh, USA, Poetic Melodies, Creative Talents Unleashed Publishers. Voices of Humanity, Argus Publications Canada, Imagine and Poesia, Shakespeare Sings, Feathers, Our Poetic Archive, etc. She has 6 books to her credit. Presently, she is working as an assistant professor of English at Ishwar Sharan Degree College, Prayagraj. She is a gold medalist from the University of Allahabad and has been awarded with Sanmati Young Talent Literary Award 2016 by Agman Literary and Cultural Society. She has also been one of the recommended poets of the 5th Rabindranath Tagore Award 2016 and one of the highly recommended writers of Bharat Award 2018. She has received Shakti Award in Writing category from Fever FM in the year 2019. Recently, she has been bestowed with Fox Clues India Prime Author Awards 2021. She is passionate about reading, writing, and for her, work is worship. She also has a blog. You people can please go and follow her on rashmimusing.blogspot.com. Now, I would like to request Rashmi ma'am to please take over and speak and tell us about the relevance of books in the contemporary times. Over to Rashmi ma'am.
Thank you so much. Relevance of book reading in contemporary time. It's a very pertinent topic on which I'm going to discuss today. There is an author and novelist, he's an American novelist, George R.R. Martin. He said that all those readers, there are readers, and those who read every day, they live 1,000 lives. But who is not a reader lives only one. He's a very well-known author who has said this. He has written a novel called The Song of Ice and Fire, and which has later been translated into a HBO series, which is very popular, and youngsters are very crazy about that particular series, which is known as the Game of Thrones. I think everybody knows about it.
Everybody knows.
So I would begin my talk with these lines of George R.R. Martin. And book reading is very important because nowadays we find that there is a decline in book reading culture. Either it's because of the advent of internet or media or television or OTT platform. These new versions has led to the decline of book reading. So book reading is very important. There are various reasons for which book reading is important. The first reason is that book reading boosts memory. Book reading sharpens memory. So it is very important. Even we find people saying to their children that they should read books. So the basic reason is that book reading sharpens our memory. Another reason for book reading, for the importance of book reading is that book reading helps us to remember our past, to relive our past. It also paves a way, or it also envisions towards future. And and it is the source to relive the contemporariness. So there are many books through which we can know about our history, we can learn about the past of Indian culture, its tradition, uh, the community to which we belong. So these are the various reasons. One of the various reasons why we should read books, because it helps us to know our past, to envision a future, and to relive the contemporariness. There are so many books which tells us about the past. Either it's The Wonder That Is India by A.L. Bhasham, or The Argumentative Indian by Amartya Sen, or The Discovery of India by Jawaharlal Nehru ji. So these are some of the books which can help us to know about the past. There are so many books which helps us to have an envision of future. In Mayo culture, there is a fortune teller who has a very famous fortune teller who has written predictions regarding the future, and that is considered that his predictions turn out to be true. So there are also books which envisions future. There are dystopian novels which also tell us about how future could be, and there are contemporary books which tells us about the present situation, the problems which human beings are facing in the contemporary scenario. There are books like The Hungry Tides by Amitav Ghosh, books like The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy, books like Twilight in Delhi by Ahmad Ali, and so many other books. Books by Munshi Premchand, like Gaban, Godan, Nirmala. These particular books helps us to understand the contemporary situations. Book reading also helps us to know about the social, political, cultural ambience of a particular time. So, book reading helps us to understand. For example, as I have named so many books, for example, The Hungry Tides by Amitav Ghosh. In this particular novel, Amitav Ghosh he tries to expose that how there is degradation in environment and how a balance is required how a balance is required to maintain our ecosystem, or how to preserve and protect our environment, how the flora and fauna and humans are on the same plane, and any imbalance would lead to deterioration in the nature. So nature firebacks, he has made us aware that human being considers them to be the supreme-most being created by God, but it is not so. The flora and fauna is also important, or they're equally important. So his writings helps us to understand that a balance between human and flora and fauna is required, and that has to be maintained at any cost. Books like God of Small Things, it helps us to understand the problem of casteism in the society, the problem of divorce in the society, that how after a divorce a female is being subjugated, what is the effect of this divorce or this kind of alienated life on the lives of the children. So all these novels helps us to understand the present situation, the problems that exist in the society. Similarly, there are other novels, books, which helps us to understand the situations that are going on in the society. Ahmad Ali's Twilight in Delhi, it deals with an epidemic, and while I was reading this book, during the pandemic time, I could correlate it that how situations were same during the 19th century while he was talking about an epidemic and during this corona pandemic. So there are so much of similarities. So all these things make us aware regarding our past, the book reading makes us aware regarding our past. It tells us about the future, it paves the way towards the future, and it also makes us aware about the contemporariness. Another thing regarding book reading is that book reading helps us, even those who are authors or who aspire to be authors, they are also being advised that they should read books. Because reading helps them to analyze the narrative style of the authors or the conversational skills of the dramatist or the style of the poets, which is very necessary for them, because if one will read good books, only then one can write good books. So for writing also, if one aspires to be a writer, so they also need to read good books. So reading skill is very important. Book reading also helps us in relaxing our mood. At leisure, when we read them, they soothe our mind. They gives us a relaxing feeling. Another important factor regarding book reading is that book reading also helps in developing cognitive skills. There is a research has been done, and in a journal called Neurology, it has been written in that particular magazine that all those people who read, there are less chances of cognitive decline in them. That is, it is more than 32%. So, reading makes a huge impact on the personality of the reader. So that is why reading is very important. But there is another author who has said, the name of the author is Francis Bacon. He has said that books should be chosen very cautiously. That there are some books are to be chewed and digested. Some books are to be swallowed entirely. So, according to Francis Bacon, he has said that some books should be read only in parts. Some books should be read curiously, and there are only very few books that should be chewed and digested, that they should be read entirely with diligence and with attention. So this is what Francis Bacon, a well-known essayist, has said about reading, that some books should be read only in parts, some books should be read only out of the curiosity, and there are only few books which should be read with diligence and attention. So books should be chosen very wisely. Then there are authors who have said, Albert Einstein, everybody knows him, a well-known scientist. He has said that if you want that your child should be intelligent, you should make him read fairy tales. And if you want him to be more intelligent, make him read more fairy tales. So this is what Albert Einstein believes, that reading is that important. Reading also enhances our creative power. So, book reading is very important because it enhances our creative power, and for writers, this creative power is very important. So, it also helps us in enhancing our creative power. We have got fantasy writers like J.K. Rowling and various other authors who concentrate and who pay emphasis on it. So book reading is very important in contemporary times, and there is an author who has said that there is no loyal friend as a book. So books are the most loyal friends we have. So, but just to conclude, I would like to say that books have a magical impact on us, and we should definitely read them. And I would just end with a line of William Faulkner, a well-known author, who has said, read, read, and read. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And you have already said so many things that has cleared our doubts. But still, I have two questions in mind
Go ahead.
that I would like to just ask from you. My first question, ma'am, very humbly, is that during today's time, we are so busy and we don't get time to tackle so many things. So, if we could get some tips from you that if we want to read a book, how should we manage the time and how should we develop a habit to do that?
Yes, it's because of our busy schedule. What one can do is that they can make a habit when they go to their bed, like they can read one page a day. If not a day, within 2 days or 3 days. But this habit should be inculcated because reading helps us in various ways, and I believe that a habit should be inculcated for reading.
So people, as we all know, we have learned from since we were a child, हम रोज अपने दांत साफ करना नहीं भूलते हैं, तो आज से हम ये प्रण करते हैं कि हम रोज एक अच्छी किताब का एक पन्ना पढ़ना नहीं भूलेंगे. इसको अपनी हैबिट में हम इनकलकेट करेंगे. The next question, ma'am, that I would like to ask you is, आपने ये बोला कि some books need to be chewed, some books need to be, it was a quote, swallowed. Yes. So I would like to just ask you, what should be our criteria to choose the books? Like which kind of books we should actually go for? If we are not reading the complete book, how will we come to know that which book is best for us?
This is a very, very important question which you have raised, and I feel that it is said that never judge a book by its cover.
By its cover.
But definitely on the cover you get a very important thing, that is the blurb of the book.
Exactly.
So definitely not the front page but the back page of the book. That's very important because on that particular page you get the blurb of the book, and through that, reading through that, you can make a guess that how the book is going to be. So that is a way, or you can go for the books for the subjects in which you are interested. So that could be probably a way to analyze that how a book is going to be, and on the basis of that you can read it. And nowadays there are so many book reviews and everything are there that you can easily make out that which book to go for and which for not.
So I add one more thing. We shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but we can judge a book by its back cover. So I would like to conclude the session by this, and at the end I would like to just say, "ऐ ज़िंदगी ढूंढने वालों, ऐ ज़िंदगी ढूंढने वालों, जिंदगी बाहर क्या ढूंढ रहे हो? ऐ जिंदगी ढूंढने वालों, जिंदगी बाहर क्या ढूंढ रहे हो? कभी किताब भी खोल कर देखो, जिंदगी तो किताबों में पड़ी है." धन्यवाद. Thank you so much, ma'am.